the ways ideas travel today is far more, is not as implicit as they were before. Ideas travel, experiences travel, practices and policies travel. When we study planning, law, and property rights from a broader international perspective, we can actually allow countries, localities, municipalities to learn from each other, even if they do not implement or copycat certain policies.
I was in my first meeting already in Amsterdam a long time ago. And I've sat in some meetings with some wonderful mentors, including Professor Hartmann, who used to get us around a table, I don't know if you remember, Thomas, and we used to talk about the same kind of topics and themes and relevant issues for all of us, but we would know them from our own specific jurisdictions under slightly different terms. However, when you polish it, it's the same kind of issue that we're all dealing with.
So climate change adaptation can be more local or regional, but exchanging the best practices from one country to another is very useful to see where's the way to go.
Well, I am convinced there's no better way of understanding your own system than to compare it with the other systems in the other countries. Therefore, I really appreciate the opportunities granted by PLPR to exchange with my colleagues from other countries. When hearing about how they tackle similar problems in their countries, I always learn a lot that I can use for my own research and for my teaching.
Well, we should know as Americans, because we always assert exceptionalism. We have a lot to learn from everybody around the world in the way that we deal with our common problems.
But we also have shared challenges, and we can learn a lot from each other. Sometimes we become so entrenched in our, in established ways of doing things and thinking about things based on that planning culture or planning history, and really being exposed to international audiences kind of broadens our minds, expands those horizons, and makes us think, challenges us to think differently about things.
And I believe that comparative planning, comparative land use policy helps us to understand how different societies, how different regions engage with informality and help people lead a better life.
So again, I think the real benefit of thinking about those topics from an international perspective isn't so much to learn how other folks do it with the idea that maybe we should do the same thing. I think our planning, law, and property rights systems are very much embedded in our cultural context, and that's okay. But what really helps us is to better understand how our systems work within our cultural context by understanding how different cultures approach those things. And think about, well, they're doing it that way. What are the implications for how we do it here? And are we missing something?
That does not necessarily mean to transplant instruments or regulations from other countries, but it mainly means to reflect and be aware of the values and the positive, but also the negative sides of the own system, the own planning, law, and property rights system.
We get better because we understand the problems better. And in particular, academics who abstract away from data and experience into theory have a lot to tell us about how we might deal with our common problems.
From each other, I know that good examples, good practices exist out there. We just need to find them, we need to share them, and we need to celebrate them.